back to my channel. My name is Marcia and I'm here again with another upcycling idea. I got a long sleeve shirt which used to belong to my son, but he never worn it that much. It's got like some brown diamond shaped pattern, as you can see, and this is the length of it. So I'll probably use the sleeves to make the length a bit longer because it will be too short otherwise, and I will cut across here to make into a drop shoulder dress. So let's see how it goes. Watch this space. To start with, I lay the shirt flat on the surface and I'm going to cut around here in the collar area, going towards here to the side of the shirt, the sleeve, and cut it at a slight angle here. So let's start. Now we'll go to the other side to make sure that both sides are the same. Just line it up here on the side. And line it up on the sleeve seams here. So I'll cut exactly the same. That's it. I'm trying this shirt inside out and back to front, because what was the back of the shirt is going to be the front. And I put some pins here on the sleeves because it was too big here around this area. And I put also 2 pins here to make 2 little pleats because it was a little bit loose in this section here, and it will give a little bit of a shape towards the bust area. Just a little dart, just 2 little darts here at the front, and making sure that the distance from there to there, from the shoulders to there, are the same, to be equal. And also at the back of the shirt, I put some pins here right from the top here of the shoulder area to the waist area. I put because it needs a little bit tightening here at the back, and I let it flare towards the bottom, so it will be a nice flared shape here. And my plan is also cut the sleeves and see how it goes. I'm sewing the darts. And afterwards I'll sew the side seams. I'll give a good press and the side seams as well. Just giving a good press now, the side seams and the darts towards the center of the dress. Both sides, on the reverse and the right sides. So here is the front of the shirt, which will be the back of the dress. I marked a line here using a water erasable pen, and I just marked all along the section that I have to cut it off, and then I'll rejoin the placket with the buttons back again, but then it'll be narrower here in that section. So I just cut around here right to the end, narrowing towards the end, towards the hem, so it won't be too tight at the bottom. You have a nice flare right at the end. Now I'm cutting very close to the seam where the placket with the button is, so I can re-sew back again into the shirt. I'm using the same strip that I removed from the other side, so now I'll just guide myself following it, so it'll be the same in both sides. So I'm going to cut across following this guide right to the end. After I remove the excess fabric from the back, I pin the plackets back on, the ones with the buttons and buttonholes there, as you can see, pinned back on there. And now I'm going to the sewing machine and sew it all down. I'm just allowing a little bit for the seam allowance, so I'm cutting just outside the line I marked before, right to the end. I lined up the other sleeve, one on top of the other, so I can cut exactly the same size on the other side, so both sleeves will be the same. Just sewing the side seams now. Where I had put the pins on previously, right to the end here, narrowing towards the end. I folded this sleeve in half. I pressed here to give a nice crisp edge, so I could cut along here this line. And I will use both halves to add length to the dress at the hem. After cutting the sleeve in half lengthwise, I sewed them together. As you can see, this is that part of the cuff of the sleeve, and this is the other section from the other side of the sleeve. I already pressed the hem here. I'm going to sew along the edge, both edges here. I zigzagged here on the top, and I'm going to do some gathering to go like a frill to go at the bottom of the hem of the dress. So I'm going to do this now. I'm sewing 2 rows of gathering stitches on the sleeves, and I'm using a stitch length of 4.0, which is one of the longest. That will make it easier to gather afterwards. So I'm making 2 rows. I gathered one sleeve, and now I'm gathering the other side. You just pull the strings from the back, and then you gather all along, all the way. Now I'm sewing the frill to the edge of the hem, and I'm leaving a little gap here on the side so I can join the back section afterwards. I'll sew the back section separately and then join the sides and then finish off the seam over the top. Making sure it's very even, the gathers around the edge. Now I sewn both frills at the front and the back, and now I'm going to do the sides. I'm going to join it together, left a little gap there so I could join it together, and I'll mark it with a pin, and I'll pin it up right there, right towards the end of the hem, and afterwards I'll finish off the seam, the main seam. This here is the yoke piece from the shirt, which is still attached to the collar, and it's been cut on the bias because they always are, so it's going to be perfect to cut some strips out of it and to put here around the edge of the neck piece here. So now I pinned the bias binding all around the edge of the neck edge here, all around, and now it's just sew all across there. I also pinned some bias binding to the edge of this sleeve here, so I'm going to sew it all along both sleeves. I joined the cuffs sewn there and sewn here as well with the collar piece, and I pinned a piece of fabric to go over the edge, and then I'll turn it around and we'll give a nice trim. So that will be the belt for the dress. I'm trying to find some more material to of the same shirt, the same material, to add some straps to the dress, but I just haven't got any left. Oh, I used everything. All I got is just little scraps of materials here, which is not enough really to add to make a strap out of it. So I found this trimming here with some daisies in it, and I thought that would be nice, the same color, and it will add a bit of femininity to the dress. And also I have some little daisy of this very similar trimming with daisies but smaller, and I'm going to add it to the belt here at the front somewhere. I cut them individually and scatter them around. I'm not so sure yet. So here's the belt. After I added the trim, I turned it over, pressed it, and then I finished off with tiny little stitches all along the edge by hand to give it a better finish on the other side. So I'm attaching some snap fasteners. You can buy those in a lot of haberdashery stores. Usually comes with a kit, something like that, which you use a hammer to smash it through. By joining it together, you have to follow the instructions. But first I recommend you try in a piece of scrap fabric first to make sure it works like I did here. And I try to measure evenly so they are well spaced out, and I just done my last little hole here by using one of these tools. Press it hard and it makes a tiny little hole, and then you push it through your snap fastener. Put the other side on there, and then you use the tool on the other side, and it comes with a tiny little tool like that, so you smash it there, and then when you do that, that will become attached to it like that one. I'll do that, and then what I usually do to make sure I got the position right, I usually mark around the edge with a water erasable pen. It usually disappears after a while, this pen. So you just mark around there, and then when you go to the fabric, you press it hard here at the end, and you know exactly where you're going to put the last hole, so it will match perfectly the 4 snappers. I attached the last snap fastener here, and I will mark around the edge like I said before, around there. It's a air erasable pen which disappears after a while, and if you just press the fasteners together, and you see the last one will match perfectly there, and then it left a little round area, so I will just make the hole for the last fastener to match perfectly right in the middle there, and then I'll add the other section here. Goes through, and then this is the last one that goes over the top, and then use one of these tools that comes with it, press it there like that, and then hammer it that way, so then you finish. Oh my goodness, I have no words, guys. I'm so excited with this dress. I never thought I could turn such an uninspiring white ugly shirt into something so nice and special. I'm really in love with it. And I managed to sew some little daisies here on the belt, and it ties up nicely with the straps here, with the daisies here and the shoulder straps. So I'm really pleased with it. And can't wait to go out there and wear my new dress. I sewn some daisies here, so you can see on the belt. I sewn it all by hand, and I found a necklace to match with it. It's got some daisies and butterflies, and it's white and yellow, so everything goes well together. I'm really pleased with it. I hope you like it as much as I do. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.